All right, now we can answer some questions or do whatever we want. So Hamza's got the mic there, so he'll give it to you, and I'm sure you guys would love to some extra help.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Guys, all right, question for you guys. So, Mitch, as you know, I've been in the high-ticket space primarily last few years. I think we've been seeing a lot of changes recently, just higher skepticism, terrible show rates, things of that sort. But where do you guys see the general high-ticket space headed over the next, 2-3 years, and what kind of changes do you think we can preemptively do just to be successful in it?
Mm-hmm. Because I think it's different per each.
I'm kind of across the board. I mainly make money online type stuff.
Yeah. It's the same place that I've always seen it going, and actually the people who seem to have the most success with it, they've been doing this for a long time, even maybe decades. And it is it's authority, but it's in the sense of everything's becoming a TV show, everything's becoming Hollywood. So if I wanted to go big and quick, one of the ways that I would do it, not from scratch, but if I could put some resources together and have fun, is I would create a reality show, for example. And it could just be one season. I can have it produced like a real reality show, but that reality show, whether you got some streaming platform to pick it up or not, it's wonderful marketing. It's sequential. It's episodic. It proves, for example, Hell's Kitchen, Bar Rescue, these kind of The Prophet, these kind of things. You create your own Dragon's Den, your own shark version of Shark Tank. That's not necessarily for investors, but for maybe it's the pit is turns into some sort of show. So it's demonstration on a level that is entertainment and something that can be followed. And you're using your market or using your audience who has problems as the characters in the episodes. And that will never go away, and that's a nice big play in some sense, and as small or as big as you want to take it. But and I'll hand off the mic. But essentially, the way I see it is, we got to get the way the market's moving. It's getting more and more into demonstration, and less into just creating value bomb posts using ChatGPT with a selfie. Or even just like a YouTube video where you're kind of blogging about yourself. I think where it's going is in having to get out there and demonstrate and prove it more and more, even if the whole season was helping one company, or documenting you and your journey trying to do this for other companies. I see it as more of a demonstration through entertainment is my take.
I would, I'm reading the question. I'm answering a kind of the same question, but I'm answering a different question, but addressing it. So there's a couple of suggestions I would give. First, find out where the next change is coming. So let's suppose the next change is coming is that you're dealing with a lot of increased competition with AI who are trying to promising to provide the same solutions quicker. I would try and find the people who did the AI solution, got sick and tired of it, and went back, and then I would interview them for the golden copy to use for the direct response message. Does that, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people who, went to, so one of the things that AI is doing is it making it so much easier to, before you, even if you were, not a big operation with a low overhead, you had to spend some money on a website designer, and you had to spend some time and effort putting into content, and you had to spend time and effort creating your messages and your landing pages and your emails and creating ads. And so where you were really bad with that, you tried to hire somebody to do it, and now AI is just copying everybody. But there are people who've turned around and said, we got really bad results, and we fired our 6 copywriters and we hired back our 2. But when you find out their nightmare stories and their problems with it. So whatever the problem is, this is a generalized question for all industries. When you are getting ahead of the problem, you go quickly to the people who first got frustrated with the new changes or went into a different direction, ask them why they switched or why they switched back, and you're going to get copy gold for your sales message to get ahead of it. The point is not necessarily to be so far in front of the curve because people, if you were too early in saying that AI is not the best way to do it, then you were such an you weren't going to hit a lot of meat. You weren't going to get a lot of prospects for it, right? You want to be just at the point where where you see the people are picking up on the idea that this isn't happening. So like with AI, one of the things that's going to happen is people are going to start putting 100% real, AI free. They're going to start certifying that kind of stuff. And that's going to be the way that you address those problems, okay? And so find out but you can't predict what's going to happen with the future. What you can do is roll with it and adapt. And the best way to do that is find the people and get the messaging from people who did adapt or who are ahead of that curve in there. The best thing is not to try and be an oracle that is predicting the future and figuring out where it is. Find out where that change is happening right now, right? And then where it's waving back, and turning back and going back into the other direction. Look at like audio stuff. In audio, what happened was, people got away from records and they went to CDs and they went to MP3s and everything, but there's actually a whole group of people that spend a ton of money on really high-end amplifiers and records and stuff, and you want to find out why they do it, right? And you find out from their words will give you the messaging for what you want. So I think that's where you're going to find it. I think that's a great idea for lead generation, and that's where they're going to be going, and there's going to be a lot of people doing that. The one thing that is true is people read less and less and less, and they watch more and more and more. And they are going less towards, advertorials, and they're going more towards edutainment is what it is. So I think that's a brilliant idea that you talk about.
Yeah, I have something on this, and it's really closely related to what both of you said, with the messaging and everything, like when it comes to, especially to make money online, big claims, and I've seen this with a lot of clients who run high-ticket programs, when I used to write for clients, the big claims just don't really work anymore. You've got to find other ways of proving what you say is true, and what Mitch is talking about especially is that, and Bond as well, what you said with your messaging. There's so many different types of proof other than, claims not even a proof, and testimonials are just one type of proof. There's so many different types, like data and scientific data, stuff like that. There's different ways to replace claims with other things. Hype copy, it does work, but it doesn't bring you the highest value clients.
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. A demonstration is worth 1,000 headlines and all of that stuff. There's a guy that I think you and Melvin and a couple of guys would love to see if you don't already follow him. His name's Owen Cook from the company RSD. So him and Julian, they're friends of mine. And Julian and I talk on the phone about this all the time. Owen gets extremely high ticket clients. And the way that he does it is he does YouTube content, usually from his seminars, but sometimes talking head stuff. And if you go look at the last few videos he released, probably 4, 5, 6 hours long YouTube video. What did Tim Ferriss say? Tim Ferriss usually, he says the higher quality people that he wants to work with is the longer the content is. Yeah. And so Owen gets extremely high ticket clients in the dating, and I guess he's kind of like this weird Tony Robbins, but completely different. But he's up there. Like, we're talking hours and hours and hours of content on every video, because he's like, the people who watch that to the end, they're the ones giving me a crap load of money. Everyone else can fuck off.
Yeah, this is what I was going to talk to you about, AJ. One of the things about the people coming through your funnels, we want to get them watching more content. So exactly what Mitch said, that's some of the strategy that I'm going to talk to you about, and that you can use in your funnel. So we'll catch up later on that, though.
Content, as long as you're...
And also, in almost all the industries, in almost every industry, when you're talking about high ticket, the person who gets the highest ticket is the one with the most volume and noise around their brand or their name. It's not the highest quality. So the most famous psychologist in the world, Dr. Phil, right? And he's not even licensed. But
he's awesome.
I'm not.
I love him.
I'm just.
Don't you fucking
My point is, you know, you turn around, it's the people who are so what's going to happen there is cycling through and making sure, again, going into the pay-to-play group. So you create that content and then you advertise to get the viewership, get everybody talking about it, period. And then, you know, the more well-recognized it is, because people feel safer in hiring the most famous person in this niche than they do in the one that's proven to have the highest results by some measurable test or anything. They always feel safest in the highest person. And the proof is some people are like, you know, wait a minute, this person is, you know, they're really not very good. They're like, well, you know, but you'll see all the commenters going, well, but everybody's heard of him. Who are you?
Those are the people in your niche who annoy the crap out of you because you're like, I'm way better than them. Like, fuck you. But yeah, that's 100% true. And if you lose that relevance a little bit, then you'll find out how true that really is. Yeah, how true that really is. Yeah, so who's next?
Hello. They gave me a microphone again.
Uh-oh.
So on the streaming, I've actually checked into that. It's very, very cheap to stream on Roku, like the Roku devices, and then adding on Amazon's not that much more. And I'm talking like $400 a month to have your own show.
To upload your thing?
To have your own show on the Roku channels.
Wow.
So kind of like Zach's, you know, top-rated podcasting. It's super, super, super affordable.
Wow.
And then if you want to watch somebody doing it right now, actually there's an insurance agent named Cody Askins that he's on like his third season. He calls it The Ultimate Agent. And it's pretty cool, and he just has a dude filming it with him. Like it's
Haskins, H-A-S, like?
A-S-K-I-N.
Oh, Askins. Yeah.
Cody Askins.
Okay. That's smart. I like that. And do you guys ever see that guy online who does like, he'll just like find like the property, it's like some dilapidated like house or property where the yard's all gross and like nobody lives there. He just fixes it up for the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Think about what that does for him online and think about how everyone hires him after that because he's a hero for doing that. Like, just, like, how cool is that? Like, again, that's what I'm trying to say with the future and as far as, like, this demonstration goes. And using, I hate the word using, but using your market or people or the audience as content through either good deeds or through helping them and such.
Yeah, and you know, I want to piggyback on what you're saying because I was saying this not too long ago, which is I think the future of advertising on Facebook is actually going to generate towards the streaming on all the apps, not just Roku. It's going to be in Paramount and all that. And you're seeing ads now, even on Facebook, about advertising those things. And what it is the reason you couldn't do it before is again, remember I talked about waste circulation with, you know, newspaper ads? Now that's no longer true because they can actually target the right age group, the right demographic, the right area geolocated and stuff like that for that area that you are in to directly to get to those people. And so, yeah, that's where I think a lot of the future is going to be for direct response marketing. And so, because I'm seeing it with also Paramount, I'm seeing it with, you know, I mean, if you were getting much older people, it would be Hulu, you know, or not Hulu, Tubi. You know, each of the apps is going to kind of grab a different sort of demographic and stuff like that, but they're getting very good at allowing you to target very specific people, which, you know, you couldn't do in the past. And and it perfectly aligns with what Mitch is doing, but you can also do the ads there as well.
And I'll put the email of the guy I was working with, so if you guys want it, you have it, in the Facebook group chat.
Thank you.
So my question is, so you're saying, Mitch, interview like 50 CEOs. How long are we making this book?
The interview can be, you know, like essentially you prep them for it you'd ask them 3 questions or something, they prep for that. Ideally, the interview is no more than 15 minutes long. and then you can edit down. So when I say each person has like a chapter, think like Follow the White Rabbit book that I wrote, where it's like, it's like a 500 to 700 word piece from them. So you take the best, you take the clearest from, because a lot of them will be good, but a lot of them won't be very, like, they don't do this all the time, even though they do speak with people all the time, and a CEO's job is often to be a politician or stamping out fires. So I would say it's like, it's maybe 2 pages or something, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like little blurbs. It's like the Chicken Soup for the Soul books or something like that.
Okay, so when we list it on Amazon, are we listing all 51 names?
Well,
as
you got the
authors?
hookups. You could probably put it on Roku or something. Like, yeah, like the thing with Amazon is like they changed the name of it, but it's called their Create Space, which is it's free.
Yeah.
And you sell their book through, like, you guys could literally like write gibberish in a PDF, get a design done for $2 on Fiverr or something, and then you could have that PDF uploaded into Amazon, and in 15 minutes you can have your book on Amazon being sold at a price where you get paid, and if somebody orders the book, their factory will just make the book, print on demand, and just send it out to your client with no minimum. And when you upload it through Amazon, they have their global distribution networks. It's not just Amazon, it's all these other ones. So you can find out what that list is, and then you can list that list on the letter or whatever it is when you're asking them. You say it's going to be distributed worldwide through all of these things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. David.
First, I want to apologize to the people I was having lunch with, because I'm going to ask the same question just to get different viewpoints. But the last 12, 13 years of my life, I've been selling financial newsletters. So it's a very simple funnel. You charge basically $49 for 12 months. You get a new issue every month. And then the first upsell is you sell that lifetime for $199. And then you have usually a back-end service that you try to get them in, and that's your back-end for $2,000, $5,000, whatever it is. I'm doing a project right now in a space that I'm unfamiliar with, so I'm just curious, I guess, on best practices for offers and structuring this, because I'd like to, go in the best way I know that I can, I guess. So when I look at the Mind Valley model, it seems like right now they're selling, you get a pitch, you get a VSL, and then they're selling you basically their membership for $299 a year, and then you have access to 100 gurus, blah blah blah. So I've partnered with a spiritual guru, and we're going to have a course. So I guess 2 parts of the question, if I can, but is it better to sell the course first, make that the first sale, and sell it whatever, 67 to 147, whatever it is, and then upsell, we're also going to have a membership afterwards, and then sell the membership second? Or should I position it as the first sale is the membership, and then downsell them to the course if they don't want that? And then afterwards, I'm just curious if you have an opinion on selling a membership just yearly or offering them the opportunity to do monthly.
I'm going to let Brian wrote many.
I know, yeah,
books,
that's
yeah.
right.
So he's going to answer this. The only tiny thing I want to say is leading with a membership is one of the toughest sales you'll ever make.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my first points as well. Because over the years that I worked on the Mind Valley marketing team, they tested so many different ways of getting that membership. Because the core aim of Mind Valley was obviously to get people on that membership. I can't remember the exact stats, but people who joined the membership, they stayed for a certain length of time, but they also purchased a lot higher, like $300, $400, $500, $600 more in a lifetime value than somebody who bought a one-off course. So membership is the thing that you want to drive for. However, getting them to that point is a little bit tricky. Selling a membership straight up is like a bit like going up to a girl at the bar and saying, would you like to go out on a date with me tonight, and then another one tomorrow night, and then maybe next Tuesday.
The first 10 dates.
Yeah. So that's the tricky part. Like, If they do, then that's cool. They are a high-value client, but there's just not enough of them to make the math work, especially if you're running paid ads. So always go for the one-off sale first, in general, but 99% of the time you're going for the one-off sale first. A course is a really good model. A book funnel is another option that you could definitely explore as well. But if you've got the course, sell that on the front end. I've done that with my own online offers in different niches as well. Get them on the course, and there's two different options from there. Depends whether you want to monetize first or get them on the membership first. If you want to monetize first, have the upsell as a higher priced one-off purchase. So that will help pay back your ad spend. And a good upsell that converts like 30, 40% at a higher price point than your main product can make the difference between a losing ad campaign and an ad campaign that can scale up and you can keep exploring new opportunities. So that's an absolute pivotal thing when you're talking about the first upsell. Your other option is what I've tested a lot, is to have a free trial for the membership as the first upsell. Now, that's going to cost you money because first up, you're getting $0, or you can test $1 or $7, whatever, depending on your final price point. But that's not going to pay back your ad spend. Even if they stick around for a few payments, then you have to wait for those payments. But it can get people into your membership on a long-term basis. So you can do that. You have a free trial as the first upsell. Then people come onto that membership and they can stay for years sometimes. Like, especially if they're a ClickBank purchaser, it's fairly low ticket stuff, like under $50 a month. And often people, forget they're even on that credit card. And I've had ClickBank offers where those payments have literally continued on for years. But to make up for the lack of immediate funds in that upsell, make sure you've got upsell number 2, 3, and 4 dialed in as higher priced one-off purchases. So you won't sell as many if it's not the first upsell, but you could have the best of both worlds, get people on the membership and make some money back, maybe enough to pay for your ads.
There's it's not easy a lot of times because you're buying a customer. There is something. If somebody even spends a single dollar with you, their whole relationship has changed, and it's changed everything. So I am often a big fan of give something very valuable for very little money, just to get that symbolic thing where they've given you something. Yeah. It's like the old Breaking Bad, like Saul was like, I'll be, I need advice. He's like, I need $1. Give me $1, or I won't even work with you. And so I like that, but also you're paying for that, so it's like, I'm losing money, but you will lose money a bit depending on how you do it. So the thing is, there's so many ways to do this. The answer is you're going to have to test all these things. But another thing is that what you want to try to probably do real quick is try to create a sense of community with what you're doing, which is what obviously one big thing with Mind Valley did. And you can do that with the monthly recurring revenue thing, but you can also do it through maybe it's a daily email or whatever. There's other ways to do it. I wouldn't recommend creating a whole group and then trying to, this one's free and then this one's monthly or something like that. But you want to foster the feeling of them being into some community, because the niche you're going into, if I were to encapsulate the emotion of the average person there, it would be lonely. And that's something to capitalize on.
Go first.
That's okay, because I'm going to get my water in just a second. I also want to know, though, which sub-niche are you going for? Because when you say financial newsletters, there's a group of people who need... Oh, okay.
That's what he did. And so he's probably wondering how much of that ports over as far as the same. He's like,
okay, because I thought he was going with financial. I'm like, okay, they're different. And then, but even spiritual, which niche are you going into? Because it gets a little different. Some people are, they're going towards a different spiritual belief.
Meditation, astrology, cat ladies with Mercury
It's cat lady. No, yeah. Hello. Yeah, I mean, his main thing is meditation, but the course is basically, and that's part of the thing why I was gravitating towards membership, even though it's more of the impossible sell. It's more of a basic. There's like 7 things you do, and this will take care of basically like 90% of your problems for most people. But like, you know, and it's stuff like exercise, so it's not. I don't have that one hook of like, you know, you take these mushrooms or whatever, you know. And so it's basically happiness. We're selling happiness, but I have to work on. Obviously, I know.
Yeah. It's always a work in progress, and that's a great point. But I mean, let me ask you this: why should I choose your course over anyone else, or any other options around, or including doing nothing?
Yeah, I'm working on that, but I can
Let's
make
work on it now.
I can make. That's why the membership. I think I can design a sexy offer. The course, yeah. I mean, how do you sell? Like everyone knows you should exercise. Everyone knows, you know. Like so, I don't have that, and the
Yeah, so
guy's
you know
not.
that,
He
yeah.
he doesn't have a book. He's not like Tony Robbins meditation teacher. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm like stacked up against all this stuff. So.
One thing too, like there's no easy answer here, obviously, but like the one thing here too is I would never ever, we're talking about course because we're just talking in the room, but I would never call it a course in a million years. It would be an experience, or it would be, you know, meditation camp, or, you know, the something experience, but I would never dare say course. It cheapens it. My point is it can be compared to something else. If it's a course, it can be compared to a course. If it's meditation camp, it can't be, or it's something, you know, blah, 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 third eye, you know, experience. It can't be compared to anything else.
Well,
and that's how you get the value.
yeah, I mean, the only thing, I hear what you're saying, like the tagline for a company is going to be the School for Happiness. So like we're going to call what they pay tuition, and we're going to kind of tie it in like that way. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll give you a sec. The other thing I just thought of, you asked about annual versus monthly. Is that correct?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I seem to recall that like Mind Valley, you can only pay by year, right? Because I'm just wondering if I should say like it'll be $297 a year, or you
Yeah.
know, $49 a month, and
Yeah,
given that choice
yeah.
or
I
not.
wasn't sure if Mind Valley is still selling monthly or not, but the benefit of charging annually is you get all the money up front for at least for that year. You know, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So you get that money. You get somebody on a monthly plan. It seems like it's less friction for them because the payments are much lower. But the reality is there's always going to be churn. I mean, I've seen school groups and memberships where, sorry to say the S word, but $1 a month, and people are cancelling that. You know, it's hardly even like it's hardly even money, but people are cancelling that. Whereas if you'd got the money up front in annual, then you don't have to worry about that for a year. And the story that I was going to tell was it's slightly different because AdSkills, the company, was already established. Justin Brooke was the leader of that, and when I was writing copy for them, where they moved over from one-off prices for their courses to a 12-month monthly membership. So the courses stayed the same price, but it turned into an annual subscription. And most people still rebought. Most people still bought at the same levels, the same conversion rates. Of course, they had an amazingly responsive crowd, so that's one thing you've got to focus on, building up a group of rabid buyers. But it had no negative effects on the business. The positive effect is, of course, they get to charge every year on autopilot.
I'm going to go with a different, I agree with everything he said, but I'm also going to go with a different model to test. Remember I told you the marketing is testing? I'm going to say that left and right. I would look at the model like my son had started doing, because the thing is, yes, the churn rate is really high. The higher the price, the higher the churn rate is. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's 3 months.